Now, the AccuWeather 4-day forecast is about to get rainy around here. Here's meteorologist Brian Thompson.
Another round of rain coming our way, Donna, and it is going to be starting to rain later this evening. Over the next 2 hours, still largely dry, but it is going to turn cloudy. We've been seeing the clouds increasing over the last couple of hours, and the clouds will thicken up into this evening. It'll be increasingly windy. Rain will arrive probably between about 8 and 10 in most locations and continue overnight before tapering off before daybreak in most places tomorrow. So this is not going to be a storm that sticks around very long, at least the rain. But the rain will be heavy at times. Could pick up another inch and a half of rain into tonight, and that could lead to some more flooding problems, especially in areas that are still seeing flooding from Tuesday's storm. Winds will gust up to 50 to 60 miles per hour, bring down some trees and power lines. Below 43 early tonight, temperatures will rise into the 50s. Nothing more than a leftover shower early tomorrow. Most of tomorrow's drive. Still going to be quite windy, though, with winds gusting to 45 miles per hour. A mild start, a high of 56, and temps will fall into the 40s as some sunshine returns. Mostly clear and brisk down to 33 tomorrow night. Blustery and chilly Sunday with some sun. There could be an afternoon rain or snow shower, high 40. Monday, brisk and cold with some sun and a high of 32. 48 degrees right now. It's partly sunny in Midtown. We're going down to 43. I'm AccuWeather meteorologist Brian Thompson on New York's weather station, 1010 winds on 92.3 FM.
Winds news time 3:54. A New York congressman is now weighing in on a decision by NBC that's got a lot of football fans up in arms. NBC will carry the Chiefs-Dolphins wildcard game on Saturday only on its subscription service Peacock, and Representative Pat Ryan is calling that a bait and switch. In a letter sent to top execs, Ryan accuses NBC of essentially double-dipping, forcing fans to sign up for yet another expensive streaming service when millions of them already pay for the network through their cable packages. No response yet from NBC Sports or the NFL. Justin Timberlake has announced a free one-night-only concert in his hometown of Memphis next Friday. Timberlake will perform at the 2,300-seat Orpheum Theater there. Tickets are being made available online. Ticketmaster must be picked up. Bloomberg Money Watch next.
For the ones who get it done.
IRS programs are designed to help taxpayers like you resolve their tax debt and may qualify you for significant reductions. Call Community Tax to see if you qualify. Their A+ rated 654-93. To kick off 2024, Sloman's and their free home security system and free doorbell camera with professional installation offer is back. The first 40 WINS listeners who call this number, 833-933-SAFE, that's 833-933-SAFE, will get this limited time offer of a free Sloman's doorbell camera that connects directly to your smartphone with installation of your Sloman Shield. And that's not all. Sloman's is going to give you a free customized home security system and professional installation when you use their low-cost central station monitoring. So you're getting an LED touchscreen pad, motion detector, 10 contacts, lifetime warranty, and backup battery. Plus, be one of the first 40 listeners to call 833-933-SAFE and you'll receive a free doorbell camera for the installation of your Sloman Shield. Keep your family safe. Call now. 833-933-SAFE. That's 833-933-SAFE. WINS FM and HD1 Detroit. Always live on the free Odyssey app. Wind advisories in effect around the tri-state. Starting at 10 tonight, coastal flood warnings along ocean beaches. A flood watch for New Jersey, the lower Hudson Valley, and Connecticut. AccuWeather calling for an increasingly cloudy afternoon. Then rain this evening, pretty heavy at times overnight, which means more flooding. Gusty winds as well, 50 to 60 miles an hour. Temps rising into the 50s overnight. The weekend begins with tomorrow with a leftover shower early on, then a blustery day with some sun at times. We expect an early high of 56, but real feels in the 30s by the afternoon. Now this message, the law offices of Marjorie Cajou handles immigration problems. Call now, 718-237-0411. More people get their news from 1010 WINS than from any other radio station in the nation. Angela Loria, our service aide, Chris Roush writing, Kyle McMorrow, the editor. I'm Donna Vaughn.
There's the closing bell on Wall Street. This is Andrew O'Day at Bloomberg. Split finish for the market. The Dow closing down 118. NASDAQ closing up 3. All news, all the time. This is 1010 WINS at 92.3 FM, New York. Cloudy skies and 48 degrees at 4 o'clock. I'm Larry Mullins, and here's what's happening. New Jersey still wrestling with the rising waters from the Passaic. This has another storm system barreled down on us with more wind and rain. Stand by for the latest from AccuWeather. Also today, the city says there are no plans, not right now, to install a curfew around the migrant shelters, despite all the buzz, but we will tell you what they will start doing soon. They're looking for a mugger in Astoria Heights. Police say a man reported getting jumped and then robbed of his belongings in broad daylight right there on 82nd and Astoria Boulevard. In the Middle East, it's been 100 days now since people were taken hostage in Gaza at the hands of Hamas. Governor Kathy Hochul leading a rally tonight calling for an end to it.
It is barbaric and inhumane to hold them one day longer. Bring them home.
And a one-of-a-kind auction featuring articles from current Grammy nominees, and they'll do it during the Grammys. Now you can get your hands on that Taylor Swift guitar. 1010 WINS AccuWeather. Rain arriving this evening. Temperatures rising as well, going into the 50s tonight. WINS News Time 401, and from your Mercedes-Benz of Edison.com Traffic Center, expanded traffic. Gregory, I hear tell we've got trouble on the rails in the same area where we had that derailment the other day, huh?
Yeah, all the F trains stayed on the tracks this time, but that's the only good news we have. You got a police investigation, and the F trains are suspended in Brooklyn between Church Avenue and Coney Island. Stillwell, so very limited F service where it runs. Some of the Fs are on the Ds, but the D, N, and Q is where they tell you to go either way. You've also got issues on the 3, 4, 5, and G trains at this hour, so it's shaping up to be another one of those days on the rails, especially in Brooklyn. On the roads, eastbound belt before Pennsylvania Avenue, somebody stalled out in the left lane. That's got you slow from Flatbush already. Westbound belt with brake lights from Knapp Street over to the Verrazano. Then once you get to Staten Island, it gets worse. Westbound Staten Island Expressway before the West Shore, there is a crash, and there is a standstill all the way back to the Verrazano. Midtown East, you got protesters. They are on 42nd between 2nd and 3rd. There are closures on 2nd Avenue, and there are some changes into and out of the Midtown Tunnel. Do not bother with the city-bound Midtown Tunnel out of Queens. You'd be better off going to the RFK and fighting your way downtown instead. Here's what you need to know about the bridges and tunnels. City-bound George 20 on the upper where there's a breakdown into the apartments. Lower is better. Out of town, Henry Hudson South End, halfway decent out of the Bronx. That's the best you do. Manhattan, West Side, Broadway, and Riverside Drive. Those are the better rides locally. Lincoln's about 10 minutes into the city. The outbound Lincoln behaves, and so So far, the outbound Holland has actually gotten better, but both the outbound covered roadway and westbound Newark Bay extension are awful. Eastbound Newark Bay Bridge not moving either. Skyway, lesser of two evils. Either way, I'm Greg Rice, 1010 Wins on 92.3 FM.
Boy, if it isn't the rails, it's the rains. Get ready for the third round of wind and rain this week, folks, coming in tonight. And each time it rains, it becomes bad news because the ground is already wet. So as you can imagine, the least little drop of water, even a melting ice cube, could spell trouble. We're back in the Weather Center this afternoon for the latest. Meteorologist Brian Thompson has the details. Brian?
Yeah, Larry, the ground at this point is just basically a wet sponge. It just can't handle any more water, and we're just going to add more water to it here as we head into tonight. We still have rivers in New Jersey that are out of their banks still from the storm on Tuesday, and we're going to add probably another inch to an inch and a half of rain as we head through tonight. So the rain will get underway between about 8 and 10 this evening, so the rain should hold off until after the commute, and then it will taper off heading into late tonight, very early tomorrow morning. So the rain should be largely gone by daybreak tomorrow. This is going to be a fairly fast-moving system, but some of the rain will be heavy at times, causing more of those flooding issues. Winds will gust to 50 to 60 miles per hour, could bring down some trees and power lines as we head through tonight. Again, the rain's largely gone by daybreak tomorrow. The wind, though, will stick with us, gusting to 45 miles per hour tomorrow, and coastal flooding will be a problem at times of high tide heading into tomorrow as well. Larry?
Thank you, Brian. Hopefully it'll hold off. Once I get out of here, I got to go to TJ's to make a run. In any event, all the usual places are bracing for flooding, including New Jersey, where folks along the Passaic woke up today still reeling from the last storm. Patterson Mayor Andre Saya.
So there were 2 rescues here on Bergen Street. They self-located. There was another rescue. It was an individual that actually neglected to see the barricade or just ignored it completely, and we've told people, turn around if you don't want to drown. But we rescued that individual as well, so it was a total of 3 rescues, but 2 were here on Bergen Street. As of last night, we have closed 18 streets. That's up to 22 streets.
Boy, oh boy. Family, go ahead right now and lock your radio dial onto 1010 Winds on 92.3 FM. We're up all weekend. We'll follow this thing. We'll keep you posted on any movement, traffic, transit, the weather, the whole nine, the flooding, and everything else. This is crazy. To the migrant situation in the city now, and there has been talk about a curfew in the wake of some incidents, claiming folks were in certain neighborhoods and people were going around asking for money all times of night, etc. Well, no curfews, not as yet at least, but they are talking about increasing security around the housing centers.
Additional cameras and metal detectors will soon be placed at the Randall's Island Migrant Shelter following a fatal stabbing there last week. Security has been a concern for local community leaders and lawmakers. Council member Joanne Ariola asked the Adams administration about imposing a curfew at shelter sites. Did they discuss how to implement?
They didn't, but honestly, they could follow the model for the shelters that now house homeless New Yorkers.
Ariola says migrants in some neighborhoods are going door to door asking for assistance. A mayoral spokesperson says while it's under discussion, plans for a curfew are not imminent. Julia Papa, 1010 Winds on 92.3 FM.
Also tonight, police looking for a man who they say beat and robbed a fella in Astoria Heights, Queens yesterday morning. Investigators say about 7:45, a 24-year-old guy walking down Astoria Boulevard near 82nd, and the suspect threw a piece of asphalt at him. Who in the world does that? The attacker then punched and kicked the man several times before making off with his phone and his wallet. He was taken to the hospital. They say he's going to be okay. A shocking development today from the state controller's office about housing costs here in the city. Thomas DiNapoli says they're higher here than any place else. Cue the violin.
The New York State Comptroller's report says the housing costs for New York City and the surrounding counties have grown more than in any other major metropolitan area over the past decade, and New York City renters have been affected the most. Deputy Comptroller Raul James says one of the problems is the number of construction permits is low, and that is bad news from this point going forward.
If we don't shift that number back up, if we don't get the development permits back up and get the construction completions back up, then that's going to lower the supply, that's going to increase the demand, that's going to lead to the cost, again, going up again.
In the year 2021, he says 53% of the New York City renters spent over 30% of their income on housing. Carol DeOria, 1010 Winds at 92.3 FM.
It's so weird. They spend the money on these studies. They should just stop by our house and ask us renters, right? And give the money to us. A building in Little Italy that until last year was home to the historic cheese shop Levadere will now have to be taken down. It's following a wall collapse during an illegal renovation on Wednesday. The Department of Buildings says it's now a hazard to the public And they have ordered the property owners to start an emergency demolition of the entire building in order to prevent another collapse. That collapse left a gaping hole in the 4-story building that was the site of the famous cheese shop for over 130 years before it moved to New Jersey last March. Inspectors found that unpermitted gut renovation work was underway on the building's first floor. Nobody was hurt. That's that thing that came in that we were telling you about, remember? In other news tonight, South Africa now. Israel responding to South Africa's allegations that Israel is committing genocide among the Palestinian people.
Day 2 with the International Court of Justice in The Hague. Israel legal advisor Tom Becker calls South Africa's allegations a libel designed to deny Israel the right to defend itself.
Israel is fighting Hamas terrorists, not the civilian population. Israel aims to ensure that Gaza can never again be used as a launch pad for terrorism.
But as South Africa points out, over 23,000 have died in Gaza, most of them women and children. Tom Rivers, ABC News at the foreign desk.
And when we come back, it's been 100 days now since Hamas took hostages, and tonight, a rally asking for those folks to be let go and sent home. Details in a moment. Wednesday News Time, 409.
Hey, I'm Andy. If you don't know me, it's probably because I'm not famous. But I did start a men's grooming company called Harry's. The idea for Harry's came out of a frustrating experience I had buying razor blades. Most brands were overpriced, overdesigned, and out of touch. At Harry's, our approach is simple. Here's our secret. We make sharp, durable blades and sell them at honest prices for as low as $2 each. We care about quality so much that we do some crazy things, like buy a world-class German blade factory. Obsessing over every detail means we're confident in offering a 100% quality guarantee. Millions of guys have already made the switch to Harry's, so thank you if you're one of them. And if you're not, we hope you give us a try with this special offer. Get a Harry's starter set with a 5-blade razor, weighted handle, shave gel, and a travel cover. All for just $3 plus free shipping. Just go to harrys.com and enter code SIMPLE at checkout. That's harrys.com, code SIMPLE. Enjoy.
Is it me, or does it seem like the weeks in this new year of 2024 run longer? Maybe it is just me, but it is Friday, and we'll have your AccuWeather and traffic coming up next. Wednesday News Time, 410.
Is your car still under warranty?
No, not anymore. My mechanic just suggested an extended service plan from Ox Car Care.
Ox Car Care?
Yeah, Ox will cover repair bills if anything happens to the car. New brakes, transmission, AC, or engine problems. Plus, Ox Car Care offers free oil changes, tire rotation, and roadside assistance.
Wait, you pay nothing on repairs, Ox gets it fixed, free oil changes, free tire rotation, and free roadside assistance?
Yeah, you don't pay. Ox pays. Ox even has a 30-day money-back guarantee and is A+ rated on the BBB. They handle their claims from start to finish, unlike those other warranty companies.
The last thing I need is an unexpected car repair bill. I'm calling Ox Car Care now.
Call Ox Car Care. Free quote, 800-270-8132. Ask about senior and military discounts. Don't get stuck with a major car repair bill. Call Ox Car Care, 800-270-8132. 800-270-8132. Or go to oxcarcare.com.
It's time for 11, and now from your Mercedes-Benz of Edison.com traffic center, expanded traffic. I tell you what, it's been a bad week to ride on the S-Line, isn't it, G?
Yeah, trains stayed on the tracks this time, but that's about the only good news we can give you in Brooklyn. The F trains are suspended again at Coney Island. This time, the F train suspension between Church Avenue and Coney Island Stillwell Avenue. They are urging you to the D and or Q trains instead, but if you don't have to, maybe not the D trains. They're running slow with their own problems, and you've got a lot of the F trains on the D line. You've also got issues on the 3, 4, 5, and G lines. So good start to rush hour on the subways. At least the LIRR and Metro North, they are on or close to schedule. New Jersey Transit still in recovery mode on some of these lines following this morning's issue with the signal trouble, but at least everything is running. You're not running, you're crawling through Midtown East because of protesters. They've got 42nd Street shut down eastbound between 3rd and 2nd Avenues, and there are still restrictions in and out of the Midtown Tunnel. So the Queensboro, the RFK Bridge, even the Williamsburg, better ideas right now. Here's what you need to know about the bridges and tunnels, the rest of them at least. Citybound Georgia got a breakdown under the apartments, blocking at least one lane on the upper level. It's an extra 20. Lower's better. There's no easy way out of town. Maybe you can sneak out of the Bronx on the Henry Hudson. Manhattan uptown, you want to go local on Broadway or Riverside Drive. Lincoln about 15 in, no more than 10 minutes out. Over at the Holland Tunnel, into the city is about 10 minutes, outbound about 15. East eastbound Newark Bay extension getting onto the Newark Bay Bridge and crash in the left lane. The westbound Newark Bay Bridge is bad. The Skyway is bad, but it's the lesser of two evils. Either way, I'm Greg Rice, 1010 Wins on 92.3 FM.
Thank you, Gregory. And now your 1010 Wins AccuWeather 4-day forecast. We're sponsored by Petro. Here is meteorologist Brian Thompson with this live report.
And Larry, we have rain that's going to be moving in later this evening. We should get through the commute here this evening without any problems, but the rain will arrive shortly after that, between about 8 and 10 this evening, and will continue overnight. But most areas will see the rain taper off before daybreak tomorrow. So this is going to be a very fast-moving system. But the problem is it is going to be raining pretty hard. We're expecting about 1 inch to 1.5 inches of rain. The other problem is the ground's already very saturated, so it won't take much to cause more flooding or worsen flooding conditions that are already going along some of the rivers around the tri-state, especially across North Jersey. Winds will gust up to 50 to 60 miles per hour, so that could bring down some trees and power lines. Well, 43 early, then temps rise into the 50s. We'll start at 56 for a high tomorrow, but then temperatures will fall back into the 40s. Again, the rain's largely gone by daybreak, just a leftover shower. We'll see some sun return, but winds will still gust to 45 miles per hour. Blustery and chilly Sunday with some sun. There could be a rain or snow shower in the afternoon, a high near 40, and a high only 32 with some sun Monday. Right now, 46 degrees. It's mostly cloudy at Midtown. We're going down to 43. I'm AccuWeather meteorologist Brian Thompson on New York's weather station, 1010 Winds on 92.3 FM.
I just hope it all holds off until I can go to Trader Joe's tonight after the show to get me some comfort food for all of this weekend. Back in a moment. When's news time? 4:14.
Looking for a heating company with reliable delivery service year-round in any weather? Go with Petro. Switch now and get $125 free heating oil or propane. Want to save more on heating costs? Go with Petro for a great deal on new energy-efficient heating systems with $0 down and low monthly payments. For live 24/7 service and everything you need to stay warm and save, you can never go wrong when you go with Petro. Go to petro.com now or call 1-888-PETRO-02 today. That's 1-888-PETRO-02. Propane not available in all areas.
Spectrum Business is made to work like your small business. Made to do it all with fast, ultra-reliable internet, phone, and mobile services. And made to work with a small business budget. Get 600 megabit per second business internet for just $49.99 a month for 1 year with select bundles. Plus, get an unlimited mobile line for free. Visit Spectrum.com/work to lock in this deal now. Learn more at Spectrum.com/work. Restrictions apply. Services not available in all areas.
Wins news time, 4:15. The rallying cry from around the country tonight, bring them home now. It's been 100 days since Hamas took hostages during an October 7th attack on Israel, and people here even calling for an end to the captivity.
A rally marking a milestone. That's how long some hostages taken from Israel have been held by Hamas in Gaza. This is a bittersweet day for Gilly Roman.
My sister Yarden came back home. You know, it was and will probably will ever be the happiest day of my life.
But he still has a relative being held hostage. Israel estimates that there are about 130 still in captivity out of the 240 initially taken. Some have been released since, but Harry Posters from Riverdale believes more needs to be done to get the rest out.
I hope that the UN gets the message that they have to do something.
Darius Ramsey, 1010 Wins at 92.3 FM in Midtown East.
Switching gears now, for Major League Baseball, you got a $700 million contract and your dog gets a visa to come with you. That would be Shohei Ohtani. The Japanese sensation with the LA Dodgers just signed his massive 10-year deal, but fans are also in love with his dog named Decoy. Decoy needs to be able to travel freely between the U.S. and Japan, so they gave him a giant replica visa from the U.S. Embassy. Decoy was with Ohtani when he won his second American League MVP award, so he's now enjoying the perks of being an international superstar. Move over, Scooby-Doo. By the way, Decoy's visa lists his birthday as NA, dog years. Along with his dual U.S. and Japanese citizenry, oh, the life of a dog. And from high atop a home in Arizona, let the goat meetings begin. You've got to be kidding. Firefighters in Glendale got an unusual call. Said somebody had a goat that got itself stuck on the roof of a house. And always ready to lend a helping hoof, the fire brigade showed up and found themselves in a rooftop rodeo. Old Billy the goat wasn't having it, though. Well, he threw a fit. They finally caught up with him, though. The goat isn't telling how he got up there, but they were able to get him down and back into the hands of its owner. Isn't that just crazy? In other news, they're putting on the annual Music Cares charity relief auction, and they're doing it live for the first time ever from the Grammy Museum in L.A., February 4th. You can go online as well. They're auctioning off items from Harry Styles, Taylor
workers will see an emphasis on safety, education, and training on the tracks and in the streets. On behalf of more than 42,000 members strong, we hope that 2024 brings you all opportunities, renewed hope, and even greater achievements. Let's make it a year to remember as we march forward together, united in solidarity, ensuring the safety and reliability of your daily journeys. Together, we'll keep moving forward, building a better future for all. This is Richard Davis, President of PWU Local 100. We are member-built, member-strong, and member-driven.
When people have a craving to explore new and traditional Asian cuisine, they head to P.F. Chang's, where scratch-made dishes come from the 2,000-year-old tradition of wok cooking. P.F. Chang's wanted to explore new possibilities for their website. They turned to AmericanEagle.com. AmericanEagle.com re-architected P.F. Chang's website, integrating multiple third-party systems to create a unified digital experience. The result? Improved page speed and performance, personalized content based on users' location, intuitive online ordering, an increase in organic search visibility, and a 40% increase in new users. For scratch-made Asian cuisine, visit your local P.F. Chang's or go to pfchangs.com for website design, development, digital marketing, and hosting to produce efficiency, revenue, and results. Visit AmericanEagle.com. P.F. Chang's and AmericanEagle.com. Another example of the best businesses in the world turning to the best in the business for websites. Go to AmericanEagle.com or call 877-WEB. Now find us at 877-WEB. Now find us. One LM to another. With listener Laura Murphy says it's not just locally American. This has been a long week. Yes, it has. But thank you, everybody, for making this with your number one source for news in New York. Because the rains are back. Get the latest from AccuWeather. Folks in New Jersey are like, please make this stop. The Passaic crested last night, so more precip is a punch in the gut. At age 2, she was rescued from a burning car by a pair of cops today. 27 years later, she's now their colleague. Oh, we've got an amazing police reunion to tell you about. Boeing's still getting the side eye after a panel blew off one of its planes in mid-flight last week. Now the FAA is going to audit the company's production line. Speaking of side eyes, NFL fans upset with NBC and the league because unless you live in Miami or Kansas, the only way to watch those teams in the playoffs this weekend is to take out a subscription to Peacock. Oh no, folks are seething. AccuWeather says rain arriving this evening, temperatures rising into the 50s. West News Time 421, and from your Mercedes-Benz-Medicine.com traffic center, expanded traffic now. Here's Greg Ryan.
Well, the F trains have been the story of the week, and this is not exactly a fairy tale we're writing here. The F trains are suspended in Brooklyn between Church Avenue and Coney Island, Stillwell Avenue. They urge you to the D, N, or Q, but if you don't have to, maybe not the D, because they are absolutely crawling either way, as a lot of the F trains are also on the D line. 4, G, and 5 trains also have their issues. At this hour and through Midtown East, we've also got demonstrations 42nd Street. Either way now subject to closure between 2nd and 3rd Avenues because of the demonstrators that are in that area, and it's just crawling through Midtown East. It's affecting the traffic to and from the Midtown Tunnel, so if you go to the Williamsburg or the Queensboro, you're probably going to find a better ride when it's all said and done. In Queens, southbound Whitestone Expressway is bumper to bumper from right off of the Whitestone Bridge down to Northern Boulevard with a crash. But the problem here is the Clearview and Cross Island are swamped as well. Here's what you need to know about the bridges and the tunnels. Citybound George, upper level, still an extra 25 minutes because of the earlier breakdown under the apartments. Lower is better. There's no great way out of town. Even the Henry Hudson starting to slow out of the Bronx. Lincoln's about 20 minutes in, 30 out from 11th, but better from 9th. Outbound Holland runs you 30 minutes, and then back in Jersey, outbound covered roadways a mess. Inbound Skyway runs you 20 to 30, and that might be the better way to do it. The eastbound Newark Bay Bridge, you've got a crash in the left lane and a whole lot of westbound rubbernecking. So if you're just going to Jersey City, Newark Bay is better, but playing the long game, Skyway is the lesser of two evils. I'm Greg Rice, 1010 wins on 92.3 FM.
Connect risk-free with Optimum's 60-day money-back guarantee. Get reliable business fiber with speeds up to 8 gig and 99.9% network reliability. Call 855-2-OPTIMUM or visit optimum.com/business today.
Another wet one headed our way tonight, folks. And AccuWeather says while this next storm system isn't expected to drop as much water as the
two previous storms, we will get enough water out of it to keep your flippers by the door. AccuWeather meteorologist Brian Thompson with the weekend word for us. Brian?
Yeah, this will be a fairly fast-moving storm, Larry, so it's not going to stick around long. We expect about 1 inch to 1.5 inches of rain, which is not as much as what we saw with the storm on Tuesday. But the problem is the ground's already saturated. We still have flooding problems, especially across parts of New Jersey on some of the rivers from the last storm as well. Some of the floodwaters have not receded yet, so we add another 1.5 inches of rain in a relatively short period of time. That is not going to help things at all, that's for sure. So the rain starts between about 8 and 10 this evening. We'll taper off before daybreak tomorrow. So again, this is not going to last all that long. The wind, though, will last a while. We're expecting gusts as high as 50 to 60 miles per hour later tonight. And then still gusts of 45 miles per hour throughout the day tomorrow. And still some coastal flooding at times of high tide through tomorrow as well. Larry?
Thank you, Brian. And people are asking me, Mullins, how is it that the river is rising the Passaic when it wasn't raining yesterday? Well, when it did rain, that water has to go somewhere, and it's going back to the river. When the river gets that water, it rises, and it causes everything to crest. Yeah, they didn't get any rain yesterday, but the river crested from rains earlier, and now this. Oh, it's going to be a long weekend, folks.
There were 3 more rescues here in Patterson, people stuck in the water, including 2 families, their homes in Bergen Street, surrounded by water. Needed to get boats in there to get them out. At the other end of Bergen, All-American Diesel. Josh's family owns it, and somehow they're still in business.
We lifted everything off the ground already so that, just in case it does come up, it doesn't damage any of the customers' vehicles. I can't get my car there, but we're going to take some big trucks down there and hope we can get down to the shop. Business as usual.
And with the rains coming, the flood is going to stay, according to Mayor Andre Sayers.
Now, here's what's going to compound the situation. We're expecting 1 inch or maybe even 2 inches of rain. That means the river's going to go back up.
Nearly 24 streets closed off because of water. Glenn Shuck, 1010 Winds, 92.3 FM, here in Patterson.
Yeah.